Sharon from Sharon Wallace Photography. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're going to talk about setting up a studio space in your home space or your extra space, a garage space maybe even, for under $600. That's incredible, right? Now I'm going to make a couple assumptions with that $600. The first assumption is that you already have a camera and a lens. And the second assumption is that you have a space that you're working with. The space minimally needs to be 12 by 12. You might get by a little smaller if you're shooting newborns, but I like to have room to work and to use modifiers and flags and V-flats and everything else. So I like a lot of space. This particular room is about 13 feet, maybe just over 13 feet, not quite 14. So that gives me plenty of room to work. For my backdrop, I prefer to have my subject at a minimum of 4 feet. I really, most of the time, shoot around 6 feet. I do that because I like to light my backdrop separately from my subject. A lot of the lighting patterns that I use require that I have that separation. And in future videos, we'll talk more about 1 light, 2 light, 3 light, 4 light setups. Let's get back to the $600 space. So we have the space, we have the camera and the lens, we're not including that in the price. The first thing that we need is a backdrop, unless you have a beautiful wall that you have painted in a nice color that you like. But I like to have a backdrop and have backdrop options. One of the most affordable ways to get started is with a Savage portable drop. This particular one I purchased from Amazon, and it comes with the drop that I just showed you and a stand. So this is a single stand, goes straight back behind the subject, and you mount the drop on it. It was about $140 on Amazon, but you can also get them from B&H, Adorama, your local camera store, easy to find. They make a 2 drop, so one stand, and then a crossbar across the center that you can hang your drop from. You can buy any kind of drops that you want, any kind of price range that you want, from $10 and up. To get started though, you just need the $140, $150 setup, and you can get started with a drop system just like that. The next thing we're going to talk about is light. Now, your space may have beautiful window light. This particular space has a nice bright window. It's facing east. It could work perfectly, but again, I like to control the light, so I like speed lights, strobe lights, constant lights, any sort of variety of light. I'm going to try to get some sort of light into my subject. The one that I would recommend that many people start with, and it's actually considered a starter strobe, is an Alien Bee by Paul C. Buff. They have high resale value, so if you decide to upgrade, you can do that easily and sell your old gear online. They're very durable. I've had 4, so I have 2 Alien Bee 800s and 2 1600s that I've had for 12 years or longer, and they are still working perfectly fine. The housing's plastic, but it's very durable. I do carry them in these cases. And you can find these right around $250 or less if you buy a used one. It comes with a reflector, a cord, a power cord, and then it also comes with a cable to connect to your camera to trigger the strobe to flash. They do sell remotes, triggers and remotes, at Paul C. Buff that go along with these. They're not very much, but you don't need it to get started. I like to have a trigger because I don't want to trip on the cord, but you don't have to have it. I use Pocket Wizards. They're quite a bit more expensive. You don't have to go that route. Strobes. So what are we going to put that strobe on? We're going to put it on a light stand. Again, you can go anywhere from $20 and up on a light stand. I have Matthews stands. I have a Matthews C stand with a boom arm that I use for my beauty dish. It's $250, but you don't have to have that to get started. This particular one by ProMaster is about 10 or 12 years old, same as the Alien Bee. It's nice and sturdy, it's lightweight, it's portable, it travels with me in the car. The one thing that I'm going to mention though is that you buy an air cushioned stand so that when you drop it, it goes down slowly, it doesn't snap down and pinch your fingers. Same with the backdrop stand or backdrop stands that you purchase. I try to buy air cushioned, not air conditioned, air cushioned, so that they don't pinch my fingers. Reflectors. This particular reflector is by Calumet. It was maybe $10 on Amazon. They don't sell them in the US anymore. But you can find other ones that are $10 or so. I like it because it has handles. It's nice and sturdy. I drag it around everywhere I go, and I can actually diffuse the sun to create a shaded spot to shoot with, or I can use it to reflect a nice soft white light back up onto my subject to fill shadows, or however I want, make a highlight in their eyes, something like that. So I really like this particular reflector. Again, $10. So if you're adding up our total cost here, you're going to get to right around $600 when you're done. And if you can't find this brand, that's okay. Pick the one you like. But get yourself a reflector. You're going to need a reflector. It's one thing you can't do without. So we have the backdrop, the light, the stand. The next thing we're going to talk about is a modifier. One of the most versatile modifiers around that I really enjoy working with is a parabolic umbrella. Policy Buff sells them. My favorite one though is by Westcott. You can get it with black and white on the interior. You can get silver on the interior. You can get just a plain white one that you can shoot through or diffuse the sun with. This one's an 86-inch umbrella. If it was overhead and I was creating a shade with the diffuser from the side, I can shoot one person or 3 or 4 people with this light depending on how I position it. I also have the option of using a diffusion sock, which is another $20 with it. So this just mounts on the front of it, creates a nice soft light. So again, this is $99, this particular umbrella. So Westcott umbrella. And let's see, reflector. That's my dog Lucy. She goes everywhere with me too. You're going to get to right around $600 when you're done. And if you can't find this brand, that's okay. Pick the one you like. But get yourself a reflector. You're going to need a reflector. It's one thing you can't do without. I mentioned modifying the light with a strobe light or your speed light. One of my favorites is to use a parabolic umbrella. You can find umbrellas from $10 and up. This favorite umbrella of mine, a parabolic, is by Westcott. It's $99. This particular one is black on the outside, and I'll open it so you can see it. It's 86 inches across, and it's white on the inside. I also have one that's silver, so I use for more specular light. And then I always use, not always, sometimes I use, most of the time I use a diffuser cover that's another $20 or so in the front of it. But again, with the shoot-through one, you can diffuse light from overhead in the sun. You can see how I'm bouncing light just from the window, so you can create a variety of lighting patterns. It's one of my very most favorite modifiers for a single person or even a small family. This works perfect. It's very versatile. So in another video, we'll talk about modifiers and what we can do in different lighting patterns. Let me know in the comments below which sort of video you'd like to see next. The last thing you need is a posing stool. You can buy a $20 step stool from IKEA in white or black, and that will serve your purposes perfectly for a posing stool. I also have a variety of ladders that I collect for people to pose on. And then the last thing I'm going to show you is a apple box. This is what they call an apple box, and they come in a variety of sizes. I have a variety of them, several actually, and you can paint them white or black or leave them natural colored. And I use these like crazy in the studio, one of my favorite tools. That's it for $600. Let's set it up so you can see what it looks like. Hi everyone, we're back. This is what it looks like set up. We have our backdrop, we have our light, potentially it could be anywhere, but we have our light and our modifier on a stand, and then our subject's going to be about 6 feet from the drop. The only thing I forgot to mention earlier is that I would use sandbags on every stand that I have to keep things from potentially falling onto someone. You can go free with a milk jug from sand from the backyard from your sandbox, or you can purchase them. Like I said, you can find them at all prices. So make sure you are safe in the studio and get that sandbag. Alrighty, thanks again. See you next time.